Speaking of toolbox, brother, look at that gem right there.
That's a nice toolbox.
It's like you just had a baby today.
Discount warehouse or whatever.
Dude, that's a nice toolbox, brother.
Little scratch and dent. That's exactly the one I wanted to. Big old, I mean, it's a Husky. They got some bad reviews, but that one just seems to be doing all right so far.
Dude, that's a nice toolbox. I don't see how you'd have a bad review with that thing.
Nope, not me. Look at them plugs on the outside, man. Got USB.
Sick. Dude, it even matches like the car, bro. Look at
Dude, when it was in the back of the truck, it looked like it blended right in.
that.
Would you just look at it?
I just want to look. Oh, dang, George, that's impressive, bro. That's nice.
I'm so happy.
I think you had all that in the roll around.
Yeah. Dude, it was like layer after layer after layer. So graduated from this little guy.
Old Harbor Freight.
Yeah, I was like, you could go under like 3 17mm before you got to the one that you might have wanted. Congratulations, buddy.
Big day.
Had a baby, it's a boy. Guys, before we get any further in the video, I wanted to say thank you guys so very much for your support. We've got a special deal going on right now with a buy one, get one free mystery bundle. So check that out. Check the link in the description below. We so appreciate what you guys do for us because we wouldn't be able to make videos like this without your support. So thank you very much. Let's get back to the video. All right, well, we got a really big undertaking here. Laz has got an HTP welder. This thing's gonna be absolutely sick. We got a cage we're gonna have to do, bash bars, all sorts of stuff. We've been waiting on parts from Holly, left and right. Got a ton of those parts, but you know anything about that, dude?
Got off the phone with the guys at Holly and they said, check under the car.
Check under the car.
Check under the car. So that's what they were talking about.
So where we got a bunch of Spall fans, we've learned our lesson on what we do with Rodney here.
It works. More cooling, more fans, more horsepower.
Well, the fact that we put the radiator in the back with Rodney and it does not get hot, and with what we're trying to build here, this thing doesn't get a lot of direct airflow, so we're gonna need to be able to put that in the back and be able to have a whole bunch of extra cooling.
It's not like you put just a stock radiator in the back. You put
The Frostbite, big old bad boy. I mean,
yeah,
I think this
awesome
was.
looking radiator.
I think the part number on this comes off like an old C10, and it's a dual pass. It's like the same deal what you got in Rodney, and Rodney does not get hot despite whatever you throw at it.
Never.
So we're gonna use some of those J-bends right there. Yeah.
Yeah, look, all these boxes. And this will definitely help us get to where we need to go. Because as you can see under here, it gets a little tight in some places.
Yeah, dude, with what we had to do with yours, we piecemealed.
Oh yeah.
Like
100
we
pieces.
cobbled together all the parts that we had in the shop trying to be able to make everything work. So
You got a big.
cooling is going to be number one here.
Yeah, look at the size of that heat changer right there with that big old fan, dude. That thing should be El Perfecto. Big old trans cooler. Same one right here, oil cooler. These are more pipe. This fan is going to be for something else. But
we got a big old beefy fuel pump that we're going to get in there.
Beefy fuel pump, dude. Look at this unit.
So we need to be able to support about 700 wheel horsepower. Ultimately, that would be the goal of where we want to end up, but somewhere 600 to 700 wheel would be ideal. We can change that with a little bit more boost as we get a little nastier.
Look at the size of the hole in that thing.
Holy fuel pump.
I've never even seen one that big.
You can regulate the voltage with this?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, I've got this.
So we got our Holly fuel pressure regulator, we got our filter. It is going to be a big, nasty.
Yeah, dude, this is awesome. Super sweet fuel filter.
The game plan right now is we got to be able to get this thing up and running, but we also need to be able to have it safe. If you want to drift over it, Holly LS Fest, you got to be able to have a cage, and it has to meet very tight tech inspection. So that is one of those goals that we need to be able to make, and we're going to put that HTP welder to work, as well as Laz. You've been doing really good with what you got so far.
Really close though.
Yeah?
Be dragging Ben over.
Yeah?
Help.
Well, he's going to be moving soon, man.
Oh goodness.
Yeah,
We gotta
but
hurry
he
up
is
though.
really moving soon. Like in a couple weeks or something, is he? So yeah, everybody's moving next door, FTP's moving, and Ben kind of subbed from their shop. It's like we really are gonna miss not having Ben here, but we're trying to be able to get, you know, at least partway on his level. But Laz has got a lot of new tools, a lot of new things that hopefully we can, it's gonna be a throw you to the wolves type thing.
Two big projects, one right after the other. It's the best way to learn.
Radiator's got to be in the back. In fact, actually, we should kind of mock that up. So, Ben, we were just looking up some parts. They're a little bit more expensive than what I thought.
Oh, like for the fender?
Yeah, fender and headlight. you guys happen to have any sort of line on any of that, like everything, it looks like the light is about $500, and I was like, whew. I was hoping they're gonna be maybe 300, but no, 500 on eBay. Looking for a white fender too, so we're gonna try and get that coming. We got some nice Nitto tires gonna go on here.
Get us a super sweet angle kit.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking at.
You know, I did not notice that is actually cracked all the way through.
There's 4 more spokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, plus we could just grind this down and JB weld it.
Saw a car at Formula Drift, and they did something kind of like this. Unfortunately, we need to probably move forward about an inch or so, but something like this.
I got that.
Got it? Sweet. And kind of just taper this out right here. Cut this guy out right there.
You can put a hole in the back of the car?
Heck yeah.
So there's gonna be a
Basically a manifold right here, but we will need to have a partition right there. Fire this thing up. These are like, I think over 2100 CFM fans, and even if the car is just sitting there, if we have holes in the right spot and we can still have a partition, I think you'll have a nice breeze in the car.
Trying to set up cooling and air conditioning at the same time?
Because we don't have air conditioning.
Wait,
We do very much just like what we did with Rodney, but yeah, in, come over. Hopefully, we might have to have one come in this way and one come out that way. But there's not a lot of space underneath the car where the headers and the exhaust are, which, by the way, the exhaust hasn't got here yet, but it is going to sound definitely like a nasty V8. And like we said a little earlier, we are going to have a supercharger on this, but for the very short term, get it up and running, run it around maybe 400 horsepower, then throw the blower on shortly thereafter that. All right, we'll try to make some quick moves on this thing here. Got the bumper all off right there. We're going to start to cut the rear so we can put in our radiator. Now, George?
Yes, sir, Bob.
You ready to cut some stuff apart?
Yeah, I got a couple holes drilled here in the corners where our hole's going to be. We're going right down here, right like halfway through the seam sealer, so our probably spot welds will still be intact. Same thing up here. We got a little brace for our latch here, so we're going as high as we can without interrupting this, because we're going to need that little bit of strength, because we seen what happened to Uncle Sam when he did a little wall tap. Same thing for down here. We're going to leave it where it is. So we're gonna, I got a little tape, little box of tape in here. I'm gonna cut it along the line so they're halfway straight, and then
that
we'll be able to get some air out of it.
Yeah, I think that's gonna provide enough exhaust for a radiator to where we're not gonna have a
Those
problem.
big old fans ripping, dude. It's gonna get the job done.
All right, man.
Okay, so now we got a pretty good sized hole to get some of that radiator air out of there.
Well, we got everything apart, got all the wheels off, and we have an open diff. Ricky, you got to do something about that, bud.
Yeah, we're trying.
Also, did you get your tetanus shot, bud?
I didn't. I need one now.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go check over what old Georgie's working on here. Got some nice new to me Nittos here. One on our OEM wheels. Brand used.
Brand new Nittos, baby.
Dude, that's gonna be nice and meaty. So that's a 265 right there.
265. Oops. Caught me off guard.
Hey.
265 on the back, 285 on the back, 265 on the front.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, she's gonna be gripping and a ripping. Always, never slipping.
We got our 315 Nittos on the back of Uncle Sam, because that thing is incredibly powerful. At some point, we might be able to get something like that on the back of here, but we got to be able to grow into that kind of power level. Dude, looking good. Heck yeah. Well, with everything that we got right here, we got a whole lot of crap to fit in. We've got to do our fuel system right here. We've got to do our cooling lines, which we have no idea how those are going to all work. Those need to be hard lines. mixed with a combination of soft line as well, going to and returning. We might use this area as an avenue here, but maybe have to flatten because again, that would be the lowest part of the whole vehicle for the coolant. I think we're going to take the factory line for the fuel supply and use that as our return. So we have cooling system, fuel system, welding the diff, got our tires on, making some good progress really fast, but we need to do some test fit of what the exhaust is. So I want to show you guys the exhaust. We got all of our stuff from Holly, and Holly's been absolutely amazing to deal with here. The 2010 to 2015 Camaro Flowmaster system. We got to check where our spacing is right there, but we're going to adapt this into that car. Certainly there's going to need to be a decent amount of modifications done in order to make that work, but I'm excited to make it happen.
Just trying to get all the grease off of it. I'm gonna blow it out after the brake clean's in there, blow everything out, and then rinse it down with some acetone.
As we definitely don't want to breathe the residue or
burning brake clean's not a good thing.
All right, we're gonna weld this thing up with our HTP. I was getting a little bit more time in with this thing. So you just got some new settings. We're actually gonna change the wire out from what you were using for your stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't even used this yet, but this thing is supposed to basically make even the newbie just look fantastic. And in no time, Laz was doing some pretty awesome stuff that looked honestly just like this. Yeah, not bad, man. Playing around with the settings, getting everything just right, make it look absolutely amazing. All right, well done, sir. We got some nice little cut everything in the 90s right there, trying to find a good spot to mount it. I think we're going to use this alternator bolt right there to fix that. So that's 1 3/4 inch. We're going to gain a lot of coolant volume by doing this. Next one, we're going to get right working down in there. We're kind of threading the needle a bit because that's got to go right by the starter. We're going to start to soft line this. Obviously don't want to have any sort of arcing or metal or anything like that, metal to metal. And that guy, how you looking right there, man?
It's gonna come like right through there.
That looks pretty doggone good. Trying to stay away from the header. Probably gonna have to go around right there and then work our way back, but it's definitely shaping up pretty nicely in the preliminary steps right there. The differential is all welded, ready to go back in. You guys gonna be putting that in just a second?
Swapping it in.
Let's do it, brother. Some nice fresh knit is ready to go on. This looks so sick, man. It's been a couple hours here and attacking all 3 different areas that we wanted to hit, and that was the cooling system, fuel system, and the exhaust system. So we've had our Flowmaster up here, we had it all together and then back apart, and then together and back apart a couple different times. We're trying to see how everything fits, and again, we're trying to get our cooling system to go down over here. We had this together, but we couldn't get this cooling line to work. So right now, we've got our slip fit, and then we're going to try and have an adapter, or gonna have a little angle kicked over so that we can get our exhaust a little bit over here, so we have room for cooling system to go all the way back. As of right now, we're gonna probably terminate this right here and figure out the rest because we need our suspension to be able to travel still. So we still have a few things that are up in the air there. It's about 7 o'clock on Friday night, so we're gonna be winding down, kicking off the weekend. It's looking pretty good though. Made pretty good progress in a short amount of time. Take a look up right here.
Yeah,
Pretty much getting everything all tacked together, understanding where everything's gonna fit.
Want me to hide the stripe? Would that make it look better?
Yeah. All right, so we're trying to get that to work around that over there. Now we got certain little sections and pieces that we're having to be able to scab in certain places. Custom exhaust always does take a ridiculous amount of time, but we're getting there. Now, one thing that we wanted to incorporate right here was this is a C6 Z06 or C6 ZR1 exhaust, and that X-pipe right there has an awesome sound. So that, coupled with our Flowmaster dual chambers, is gonna have an absolutely sick sound. You want me to tack that for you, buddy?
Yep.
Okay. 3. Definitely does get us kicking more that way right there. So So we're gonna need a straight section, and we're trying to mimic this. We have another pipe right here that is going to match what we have here. I like your crown there. And let me do the opposite. Oh, look at you. Geometrically Tetris freaking figuring it out. Look at those pie cuts. Okay. All right, so we're gonna need to cut approximately here-ish. It's an intricate little bend right there. That's what we needed. The angle of these headers right here just makes it a little bit difficult in order for us to be able to do what we're trying to do. I mean, that makes it really, really difficult. So the sweep around here is what and why we're having to kick that out. So we had to kind of shimmy.
Little shimmy.
We get this together and we're pretty much right about where we need to be for our X. And that is a great place to end for the week.
Close your eyes on this.
Yeah. We'll get you.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm very, very happy with that, man. Been working at it a couple more hours here with X pipe in there. Been extending it along. We modded up our flow masters a little bit. Got some nice little tweaks that we got there. We cut the tips off, extended it, got it marked exactly where we need to be. We're gonna try and cut that exact right there. And I had my son and his friend helping out, making some pretty good progress on this thing. Just working on this side right now. Round to the corner. However, this has made it a lot more difficult with space, in regards to space, for where we're going to put our coolant. So we just decided, hey, we're either gonna build the exhaust around the coolant, or we're gonna build the coolant around the exhaust, and it turns out to be the latter. Been teaching these kids how to use the HTP, getting everything all mocked up. They're doing really good. The guys did a lot of the tacks themselves. Teach them young, guys. Teach them young. Has it ever been a hot one today?
Definitely.
Dude, ridiculous hot.
I'm on my second set of shirts.
Oh yeah. Well guys, we got this thing totally done on the exhaust. Now we just have the coolant hoses to do, but dude, this is, after a lot of fitment, a lot of debating, a lot of thought, I'm totally 100% pleased with the way that this came out. I mean, it is absolutely beautiful. I think the function is going to really, really be right there with the way that it looks as well. So, you guys gotta check this out. I like your little brackets, man. They're cool.
I went for simple and quick.
It is simple and quick. It really works well. I mean, we got a super solid mounted exhaust. I mean, the motor is mounted solid, so yeah.
I'm still curious about the expansion deal.
I agree. Like, so a long time ago, we actually had a customer that had an exhaust rattle or something like that, and he's like, oh, it only does it when it's hot, but yet it rains and stuff, so it's like expanding and contracting, really weird. But yeah, we'll have to see how this works with the expanding and contracting with solid mounted stuff. But again, guys, totally happy with it. I'm so glad they were able to use the ZR1 Z06 exhaust that we had right there, along with the Flowmasters. This thing is going to sound so freaking sick. 3-inch mandrel all the way back. Couldn't be happier, man. I don't think we can improve the exhaust in any way, to be honest.
Are we gonna wrap the exhaust to separate it from our coolant lines, because they are kind of close in spots?
Yeah.
Or are we just gonna wrap the coolant lines?
Yeah, we actually did get some stuff, and we'll tackle that next video there. So we did buy some wrap today, and we're gonna wrap up stuff to be able to keep the coolant lines away from the exhaust, because the proximity is really, really close. So, well, we're gonna end on that note. So thank you guys so very much for watching. God bless you, and we'll see you next episode.
Are you scared of yourself in the mirror?